Ever wonder why winters vary so much? The answer lies in the polar vortex, a massive spinning mass of cold air above the North Pole. This Arctic giant influences our winter weather in Britain, dictating whether we face mild rains or bone-chilling cold. When stable, it keeps the cold air locked over the Arctic. But when it weakens, the cold can surge southward, affecting everything from wildlife to infrastructure. Recent extreme weather events, like the Beast from the East, are linked to this vortex antics. Understanding the polar vortex is crucial for predicting our increasingly extreme weather. Let's explore this atmospheric titan and its impact on our winters. It's a story of physics and our own backyards, explaining why we might need to swap raincoats for parkas. The polar vortex's mood swings are becoming our weather reality. So why is this Arctic force so crucial to our weather? Let's dive in and find out. The polar vortex sounds dramatic, but it's simply a massive area of low pressure and cold air high in the stratosphere. It sits over the North and South poles, with the northern one affecting us most. Picture a vast cyclone, encircled by powerful winds called the polar night jet, racing around the pole. These winds act as a barrier, containing the coldest air within the polar regions. The vortex is strongest in winter, influencing the jet stream below, where our weather happens. A strong vortex keeps the cold locked up, but a weak one can unleash it southwards. When you hear the vortex is weakening, it means the cold air might spill out. This high-altitude feature is crucial to our climate system. It's not a storm to fear, but a force to respect. Its behaviour can lock Arctic cold in place or send it our way. Understanding it helps us prepare for winter's whims. When the polar vortex is stable, it creates a strong barrier, keeping Arctic air locked over the North Pole. For Britain, this means a typical winter with mild, damp conditions as the jet stream flows from west to east. This pattern, known as the positive phase of the North Atlantic Oscillation, brings maritime winds full of moisture. We experience grey, rainy days rather than dramatic snow events. Temperatures hover above freezing, especially in the south, making it a manageable winter. Farmers benefit from frost-free ground, and infrastructure isn't tested by severe cold. This stability has been the norm, maintaining a balance between cold polar air and warmer mid-latitude air. The strong vortex powers the jet stream, keeping weather systems moving across the Atlantic. But this balance isn't guaranteed. When the vortex falters, the entire weather pattern can change, bringing different conditions to our shores. The polar vortex's stability is crucial for predictable winters. Yet, when it wobbles, it can lead to unexpected weather shifts. Understanding this helps us anticipate changes. When the polar vortex wobbles, it can lead to weather chaos. Disturbances from below can disrupt its flow, causing a sudden stratospheric warming event. This warming slows the vortex, distorting or splitting it, and reversing the polar night jet winds. The Arctic air, no longer contained, can spill southwards, affecting Europe and beyond. This disruption changes the jet stream, making it weak and meandering. If Britain is under a cold loop, we face Arctic or Siberian air, leading to cold snaps. A sudden stratospheric warming event signals potential weather shifts. It doesn't guarantee cold for the UK, but it raises the probability. Instead of mild air, we might get cold, dry continental air with prolonged freezing temperatures. The wobbly vortex opens the freezer door, changing our weather dramatically. Meteorologists watch for these events to predict potential cold outbreaks. Understanding this helps us prepare for winter's surprises. A weak polar vortex can also bring persistent rain. A disturbed vortex makes the jet stream wavy, causing weather patterns to stall. If Britain is under a moisture-laden trough, we face relentless rain. This happened in the winter of 2013 to 2014, the wettest on record. The jet stream directed storms at southern Britain, causing widespread flooding. Saturated ground led to rivers bursting their banks, impacting homes and infrastructure. A disrupted vortex means a higher chance of persistent weather, wet or cold. The polar vortex's influence extends beyond snow to rain. Its stability affects the entire North Atlantic weather system. Understanding this helps us prepare for both deluges and cold snaps. The Beast from the East in 2018 was a dramatic example of the polar vortex's power. A sudden stratospheric warming event weakened the vortex, reversing the polar night jet winds. This opened a pathway for icy Siberian air to reach Britain. Temperatures plummeted and heavy snow fell, causing blizzard conditions. The country faced severe disruptions, with red weather warnings issued. This event showed the direct link between stratospheric changes and ground-level chaos. It highlighted our vulnerability to such weather patterns. Understanding the polar vortex helps us anticipate and prepare for similar events. The Arctic atmosphere's distant mechanics can bring chaos to our doorstep. Why is the polar vortex more prone to disruptions? The answer lies in Arctic amplification. The Arctic is warming rapidly, affecting the global climate system. This reduces the temperature difference between the pole and mid-latitudes, weakening the vortex. A weaker vortex is more susceptible to disturbances. Loss of Arctic sea ice adds heat and moisture to the atmosphere, promoting high-pressure systems. These systems can disrupt the vortex, increasing sudden stratospheric warming events. A warming Arctic may paradoxically increase severe winter cold snaps. The result is a more chaotic and unpredictable climate system. Understanding these changes helps us prepare for future winters. The polar vortex's behavior is a key factor in our changing climate. Scientists closely monitor the polar vortex due to its impact on weather. Using weather balloons, satellites, and models, they track stratospheric conditions. Forecasting. Sudden stratospheric warming events has improved, offering early warnings. This helps governments and industries prepare for potential cold outbreaks. Ensemble forecasting, running multiple simulations, increases confidence in predictions. Understanding past events helps link Arctic changes to the polar vortex. This research is vital for future winter projections. Will extreme weather become more common? Scientists are working to answer this. Watching the polar vortex is crucial for understanding and preparing for climate changes. The polar vortex suggests a more volatile winter climate for the UK. While overall warming trends continue, severe cold snaps may increase due to Arctic changes. We must prepare for both intense rainfall and cold extremes. Infrastructure needs to adapt to handle both deluges and Siberian conditions. The idea of a typical British winter is fading, replaced by extremes. The polar vortex reminds us that our climate is interconnected. Arctic changes affect our weather, making monitoring the vortex essential. Understanding these changes helps us prepare for future challenges. Our weather is becoming more interesting and unpredictable. The polar vortex's behavior is a key factor in our changing climate. Preparing for its impacts is crucial for our resilience.